Call a crew to the fire tonight. Raise them up. Bring the fight. Boats hit the floor and the night it ignites. Steel in our veins, yeah, we live for the fight. Dust on our throats and a spark in our chest. We don't back down, we don't second guess. Katie's got the fire, lighting up the flame. Lazy swings hard, yeah, we're carving our name. From the gutter to the stage, from the bottom of the sky. We're the voice you hear when the weak don't try. We're that drum, feel it pounding your bone. No kicks here, we take our own thrones. Hey, raise the crew, let them hear the sound. Hey, from the ashes we're burning it down. Hey, no retreat, no fear, no excuse. We are the roar. We are the ToosDay Crüe.
Pins in the air and the chaos grows. Stories get loud where the wild wind blows. With scars and grit, yeah, we paid our dues. Now we're kicking indoors with nothing to lose.
Voices collide like a runaway train. Laugh through the struggle, dance through the pain. If you're standing with us, then you already know. We don't follow lines, we just steal the show. Feel that fire ripping straight through your chest. This ain't a game, it's a war cry test. Hey, raise the crew, let them hear the sound. Hey, from the ashes we're burning it down. Hey, no retreat, no fear, no excuse. We are the roar. We are the ToosDay Crüe. Call 'em in, call 'em home. Through the fire, through the storm. We don't break, we reload. We don't kneel, we explode. Raise the crew, let them hear the sound. Hey, from the ashes we're burning it down. Hey, no retreat, no fear, no excuse. We are the roar. We are the ToosDay Crüe. Day Crüe. ToosDay Crüe. Day Crüe. ToosDay Crüe.
Misfit Nation, are you ready to make some noise tonight? Because it's the first true ToosDay Crüe of the month, and they're coming in hot. New month, new energy, new stories, same mission. We're here to bring the grit, the laughs, the motivation, and the conversations that remind us why this community is unlike any other on the planet. Tonight isn't about what happened yesterday. It's about showing up today. It's about building that momentum. It's about connecting with people who understand that resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you earn. Before we kick this thing into overdrive, we got a special shout out to some incredible supporters of the Misfit Nation family. A huge thank you to Austin Coperer and the entire crew from Wisconsin for sending us patches from the Kenosha Police Department and the Village of Pleasant Prairie Police Department for our Studio A Hero Wall. Check it out on Instagram and TikTok. That's what this community is all about. Veterans, first responders, law enforcement, patriots, standing together, supporting one another, and honoring those who serve. Austin, the officers, and everyone involved, we appreciate you. We're honored by your generosity, and those patches will proudly stand as a reminder of the commitment, courage, and service represented by your departments. All right, Misfits, enough talking. It's time to turn up that volume. It's time to bring that energy. It's time for another unforgettable night with the men who bring the fire almost every single week. So get loud, jump in the chat, and make some noise for Steven, for Jake. It's the ToosDay Crüe.
Good evening.
That's one hell of an intro every damn Tuesday. It's like boom, 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 boom.
I don't see how he does it. But hey,
It feels like we haven't been here in like 3 or so weeks. It's amazing.
Yeah, it does. It feels like a long time.
Yeah.
I take it you've had a good week thus far.
Yes, I have. Yeah. Work, normal stuff, getting things done, playing in the rain.
What'd you think of that? What'd you think of that first race out of Coronado?
I thought it was pretty damn good. Safety wise, it's a little iffy there, but
It was a bit sketchy.
going over that one hill, cars going airborne at 100 and change. It looks like it's going to be good though if they do it again.
I think they'll work the kinks out of it, and you could definitely tell it was supported. And calling the race from the Carl Vinson, that was really cool.
Yeah. And did you see they actually took Kyle Larson's car up there and he did a burnout on the bed?
I showed that to we were watching the race, and Mrs. Holland was sitting there, and I took my phone and I said, "Hey, you want to see something cool? Look at this." She goes, "Wow." It was a how many people can say that they've done that?
No, not many.
Him. Yeah. Exactly.
My car was lifted by crane so I could please escape.
Yes, it was.
All righty. Misfit Nation, ToosDay Crüe, we are back for another episode. Tonight, we dive into a topic that impacts far more people than most realize. What happens when a uniform comes off and the built-in community disappears?
That's right. We spend a lot of time talking about careers, leadership, and success after service, but we don't talk nearly enough about connection, friendship, and belonging. For many veterans, that is the hardest transition of all.
Our guest tonight knows that journey firsthand after an incredible 20-year career in the United States Marine Corps, serving everywhere from Iraq to Okinawa to Special Operations Command. She faced challenges she never expected.
Finding her tribe again.
Today, she's helping veterans, first responders, and families learn how to build meaningful relationships, create community, and improve their social wellness.
She's a certified relational health coach, keynote speaker, educator, and someone who's changing lives by teaching people that connection isn't luck, it's a skill.
Misfit Nation, help us welcome retired United States Marine Corps officer
Becca Spahr.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the ToosDay Crüe.
Thanks, guys. I'm so excited to be here.
I know the whole once a Marine, always a Marine. I hate when we throw in retired. You are a Marine, right? We've gotten yelled at a few times for making those comments. Retired or former. You are the Marine.
Yeah, that's what it says on the back of my car.
Nice.
So we gave a little 2-minute blurb, 20-second blurb about you. Why don't you start wherever you want to begin from and tell us all about you, or what you want to tell us about you.
All right. Well, thanks. Yeah, that was a good little intro. I'll start, I guess, kind of where I'm at now, which is what you guys touched on. I get in front of every audience I can to teach veterans, first responders, and their families about the importance of their social health or social wellness, so that they can live their best lives. They can have, optimize their performance, improve their resilience, and just feel better all around. But that is not what I thought I would be when I grew up. Neither was it that I thought I would be a Marine. So life keeps throwing I don't know, little prizes my way, I guess. But I got here after I retired in 2023, and I took about a year off. I just needed to let my brain scab over and kind of cool off a little bit and take some time to myself, get my family situated, all of that. And towards the end of that year, I had been feeling like kind of lost. I wasn't going to work every day. I didn't have friends that I was seeing on a regular basis. I wasn't wearing the uniform anymore. And I didn't know really what I was feeling because I had never in my life experienced it, but I was lonely. It took me a while to figure out what that was. And then because of that experience and feeling like I didn't belong anywhere, I didn't have a tribe surrounding me anymore, I didn't have support, I started to learn more about why that was so important, why it was affecting me as much as it was. And the more I learned about it and talked to people about it, the more I realized that I was not alone at all in that experience, and that most veterans, I would say most of the veterans I have talked to, can relate similar stories about the first months and years of being outside of wearing the uniform.
Right.
Speaking from experience,
Jake, exactly.
Yes, that first year was the first year. I mean, I ended up getting a job, but especially during my transition leave, there was times I didn't get out of bed till noon, and it sucked. It really did.
Yeah, well, you lose the structure. You don't have anywhere you have to be necessarily. You don't have your teammates around you to check on you if you are a little off. And one thing that I see that's especially common among people who either are disabled veterans or they have retired and have a pension, it's like they have some money coming in, so there isn't as much of an urgency to like get yourself out there and get into another high performing job or something like that. They figure out a way to bring some money in, but it's not that same like show up to work every day kind of atmosphere. And so then you're missing all that social connection that is built in when you have a place that you have to be every day.
Yes. And I'm probably fixing to get into that again, but I've got a plan, and because I've done this before, so I've got a plan, and we're going to see how this works out.
Good.
Well, Jake, with you, it's not going to be hard. It's welcome to Walmart. You open the door. It's not hard.
Yeah. Unlike you, I don't have a Walmart right down the street.
Neither do I. I have to travel 10 minutes.
Well, I've got about a 45-minute drive to a Walmart.
Okay.
So.
I'm sorry. I had to come out. I apologize.
Hey, I tell you what, I will let you know what my plan is, Stephen, right now.
Okay.
I'm going to become an Amish Uber.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do. I am going to drive Amish around to their appointments and haul stuff for them and do stuff like that. And
that sounds actually relaxing.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be. Matter of fact, my neighbor was the one that told me to do it. Yeah. So that's what I am going to do.
That was a good commercial break. Can we get back to the guest now?
Hey, whatever. Hey, we're talking about transition here. But okay, Becca, back to you. Sorry
She's
about
laughing. She's like, this is funny. You would think we were related, Jake and I. We're really not.
No, we're not. thank God. uh, Now, Becca, when did you first realize that you were experiencing, it wasn't retirement fatigue, but it was that loss of connection? When did that actually hit you?
I think it took me around 9 months to figure out what it was. We moved. So one of the elements of this perfect loneliness storm that I experienced was that we moved from my last duty station. I was stationed in Tampa when I retired, and then we moved to Pennsylvania, which is home. So had we stayed in Tampa, I would have already had, some friends and people I knew from work who I would have been, and we had, like neighbors in our neighborhood, people that we were friends with. But moving up to Pennsylvania, we had some family, but I didn't really have friends. And so I did what a lot of people do now, which is I turned to the internet. I have mixed reviews on that. But I started, really, I was looking for friends for my kids first, because I was like, let's get them situated first. Yeah. I can come later, and our kids are, they're 16 and 13 now, but this was a few years ago. And I was like, well, maybe if they could at least meet some people, like kids in the neighborhood, then they'll know a couple of people on the first day of school, that kind of thing. So I started putting myself out there, which is sort of the first step in making friends. You have to be open to it. And I had a couple of pretty disastrous mom dates where I thought, okay, well, this lady has kids, my kids' age, and we have some things in common. And so this one, we went to this indoor trampoline park with the kids. And so I was like, well, we'll let the kids play, and then maybe I'll make a friend with another woman. I sat there for 3 hours with this woman, and she didn't ask a single question to me. She just talked the entire time about herself. And I sat there and I asked questions and I nodded politely. And I realized, one, that wasn't the person for me. That wasn't going to be my bestie, but that a lot of people struggle in social situations to know what to do. To be interested in other people, to make other people feel valued, to make other people feel important. Those are, those making another person feel good. It itches that part of our brain that is like the pleasure center of the brain. And then we want to keep coming back for more. We want to be your friend. We want to keep talking. And so that was kind of one of the turning points in my journey when and I had already tried with a few other people to try to be friendly with, neighbors and other women, I had met different places. And on the one hand, I was like, well, maybe they're just bad at social skills. But on the other hand, I was like, I am never going to have friends again. I'm too different. I know I don't look like a Marine if you were just to look at me, but that's what I was doing for the last 20 years. And that's not what a lot of other people were doing for the last 20 years.
Now I got a question related to that. And I don't know, I'm asking this, okay, you meet a friend, another woman, you go out to coffee or whatever you're doing. And when they find out that you were a Marine for 20 years, does that intimidate them? Or is that the feeling that I'm sitting here across the table from a beady-eyed killer, you know? Well, shouldn't have said that.
I think
she does look the part, but no. Especially with that big of a smile.
Yeah.
Definitely serial killer material right there.
I think it depends on the person. Because some people are like, oh my gosh, that's so bad. You're so cool, and they want to hear about it. Other people get a little icked out by it, and they don't want to associate with someone who has served in the military. And I get a lot of silly questions too that are like, you don't really know what the military does, do you? Which makes it harder to relate to people. So I tried to just approach it with like, I'm a normal person. I never was like that stereotypical, really hard-edged Marine, even when I was on active duty. So I hope that they'll kind of take me as I am and not be intimidated. But yeah, I can definitely think of times where the conversation kind of fizzled out pretty quickly once that came up. It's like the record scratch. We're done here.
But
Now,
the question is, the lady you went with, she talked for 3 hours and never asked you a question. Did you become friends? Not besties, but she obviously needed somebody to vent to. Like she never gets out of the house or something. That's what
Yeah.
it sounds like to me. And you were there, and you're like, "Oh my God, an adult. Let me talk to them," and just diarrhea of the mouth for 3 hours.
Right.
Did you become friends and just not besties, or
Never heard from her again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you
Because
said that
find
you.
those people. Go ahead, Jake. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was
Steve.
talking. No, it's your show. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask a question. She said that she wasn't the stereotypical hard edge Marine. Does that mean that you ate color crayons one at a time instead of by the handful?
I really just stick with the pinks and purples.
I got to throw that in with all of our Marine guests. I apologize.
It's all good.
Apologize.
And she's in Pennsylvania. She's the Crayola factory right there. So
That's right.
remember that, Jake.
Yep. I was actually at our Target, and they had, in the front where they have like the candy and the chips and stuff, the little impulse buys. I'm not even joking. I wish I had taken a picture. It was like all chips and candy and, whatever, gum and crayons. Somebody had put crayons up there, like with the food.
Impulse buy.
Yeah, I guess. You never know. You never know when you might need a snack.
Yeah, give me some Tic Tacs and a box of, Crayola.
Now, going back to your time in the Corps, what lessons did the Marine Corps teach you that are helping you navigate civilian life?
I don't think that a lot of people, I don't think a lot of Marines necessarily leave with this lesson, but I left with the lesson that you have to be authentic, especially as a leader. And I'll tell you that very early in my career, I mean, you guys know, the organizational culture, the role models that you have, it's hard, it's harsh. Like nobody expects everybody to like get a hug when they walk in the door at work. And you have to be tough, and that there's a reason for that, and that's good. But so early in my career, based off of the training that I had and the role models I had, I thought that I had to be really hard and like yell at people to get them to listen to me, and territorial, and not let anybody get one over on me, because I didn't want to appear weak, or I didn't want people to think that I was incapable, And when I had been in for, I guess maybe like 6 years, I had an experience where that showed me that it was okay to be warm to people, to be, I mean, the way that I am, to be myself, to crack jokes, to be friendly, to be approachable, instead of being like the like really tough, hard as nails kind of Marine. And what happened was I was working, I worked on the Commandant of the Marine Corps staff, and we were having one of the evening parades at 8th and I down in DC. And the guest of honor was the president. And so it was, the evening was all planned out. These guys who are like the VVIPs, it's like their schedules are like to the minute. And so I was in charge of like keeping everybody on schedule. And we get to a point, we're standing in the foyer of the commandant's house, and I look at my watch and I realize we're like 5 minutes ahead of schedule. And that hot panic starts in my toes and starts like traveling up my body. Like, what am I going to do with the president of the United States and the first lady for an extra 5 minutes? And so I'm like trying to think on my feet, like, well, maybe I can tell them something mildly interesting about this historic home, or ask them if they need to use the bathroom or something. And thank goodness the president peels off and he just starts working the room. And he's like shaking hands and clapping shoulders and cracking jokes. You know, where are you from? Oh, how long you been in the Marine Corps? That kind of thing. And I'm just watching this happen. And I'm like, man, this guy is like so friendly. He has every reason to just stand there and look mean and not talk to anybody.
Mhm.
And no one would even try to like engage with him, right? He's the president, right? But instead he was putting himself out there. He was making other people feel comfortable. He was making other people feel appreciated, you know, thanking them for their service. And that moment, it just kind of clicked. I'm like, man, this guy is the most important person in the world. And if he's allowed to be nice to people and crack jokes and make other people feel important, certainly I can do that too. I have a lot less riding on it. And so from there, it really shifted my perspective. And I stopped trying to be what I was not, which was hard and mean and, you know, tough as nails, and allow myself to be a more warm, personable person. I think that I had success with that because I've had fantastic teams over the years, many of whom, you know, would say things to me like, you know, I would trust you, I would follow you anywhere, that kind of thing. And I know that I got more out of my teams than I would have if I had maintained that kind of more hard persona.
Yeah, most definitely. And you know, you got to, like you say, you got to kind of read the room. You know, if you're dealing with a bunch of knuckleheads, yes, but you know, if you've got a good, well-oiled machine, let it run.
Yep. Yeah, and you're right, and you hit the nail on the head there, which is that you've got to know your audience. Because I'm not saying just like be best friends with everybody. That's not going to fly.
No.
You've got to find that middle ground between the like authoritative Darth Vader kind of leader that everybody does what he says because they're afraid of him. And then on the other end is like Snow White, who's like singing with the woodland creatures and everybody loves her. You got to find somewhere in the middle where like, you know, you're going to go to bat for them when they need you to. Yes. You're going to back people up. You're going to hold people accountable, especially if they screw up. You're going to say, hey, like, let's figure out what went wrong and let's fix it. You know, so there's sort of a sweet spot in the middle that makes you you know, the best, I think the best kind of leader that can kind of leverage both sides of that coin, depending on what the situation calls for.
Yeah. And that takes a while to find that perfect level.
Absolutely.
I've noticed that over the years.
Yeah.
You probably go into work and crack the whip, don't you, Stephen?
I go in and sadly, I let them, even yesterday, I made the same comment. I am not here to be your friend. I'm here to work, and I need you to work with me. After work, we'll do whatever you want. At work, I'm going to be the man in charge, and you need to work for me. Mm-hmm. You know, and we can play all day long. I'll crack jokes. We'll do this, but I need you to zero in and do what you got to do. And that's how it is. After work, we'll go to the bar. I don't care. We'll hang out. We'll do this. But at work, you need to be zeroed in and work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
got a few questions.
Grab them.
Cool.
I didn't grab them. Somebody grabbed them. At Bama Sucks 9 wants to know, where the hell have you been? Almost had to find a new show. Becca, what was the hardest emotional adjustment after leaving the Marine Corps? So they're yelling at us and asking you a question all at the same time. I love that. Thank you, Bama Sucks 9.
Yes.
Are you guys going to answer your question first? Where the hell?
Well, sure. We had a guest. Well, I think we had 2 guests not show up, so we didn't have a show.
And the one week I had problems and he had he was out, I think. So
Yeah, I was
the
out of
producer
town.
had to take over the show.
Yes.
I couldn't get in the studio for the life of me, and the producer jumped in and he took over the show. But we had a couple of
Yeah.
cancellations, but we're back.
I think
We're here.
I was in the middle of shoeing horses that week. So yeah.
And then
So
Becca,
that's where we were at. Bama sucks. But back to the question he had for you, what was the hardest emotional adjustment after leaving the Corps?
I think for me it was like not being around people as much, because you go into work, and where I guess not everybody's the same, but where I worked, I had my team of my Marines that I was leading, but then I also had like my peers that I sat next to and kind of hung out with all day. And also I had been in that job. This isn't super common, but I had been in that job for 5 years before I retired. So it was like, I pretty much knew everybody who worked there. I had been there long enough that I knew like all of the civilians. I knew all the cleaning people. Like anywhere I went, I was saying hi to somebody, and then to go from that to, I mean, I was basically a stay-at-home mom for like the first year, which I had never been in my life. And I was like, it was just me and the dogs in my house all day, every day, because my kids were at school.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not being socially well. To be socially well, you need to have interactions. You have to have different types of interactions with different types of people. And I was basically starving. And the analogy I use is that like when you feel hunger, that symptom is telling you that you need to eat. When you feel thirsty, it's your body telling you need to drink. When you feel lonely, that is your body telling you that you need to be around other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think emotionally, that was what was hardest for me, was leaving, hanging out with my friends all day, basically at work, and then just nothing.
Right.
Yeah, I completely understand. Mrs. Holland would tell me, you need to go hang out with one of the guys.
Yeah.
And for a day, I don't care what you do, just go do it.
Yep. Yeah. And that's hard though for people, because especially if you, if you relocate after you get out,
mm-hmm.
or if you, maybe you stay in the area where you were stationed, but you're still not going to, to that job anymore. So you're having to, you're in a difficult place to be, because you have to find new people. And
Yes.
one of the most Googled questions lately is basically, how do I make friends as an adult? So many people are wondering this, because we feel like it should just happen for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we're young, you're in school and you go and you're playing on the playground at recess, and you're like, oh, do you like bumblebees? Yeah, I like bumblebees. Cool, let's be best friends. It's like so easy, right? But it's easy, well, because one is, kids, you're uninhibited. You're not expecting to be rejected or expecting betrayal or any kind of problems, right? So you're more likely to put yourself out there, but also you're in a target rich environment when you're going to school every day and you're around the same people every day.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever activities you're doing, clubs, that kind of thing, sports. And then that changes a little bit as we get into our early adult years, when we are no longer in our original social circle. Whether you are going off into the workforce, you're joining the military, you're going to college, whatever it is, you're like outside
mm-hmm.
of wherever you went to high school. And then you have to start making friends for the first time. It's harder, and it doesn't come naturally, but people think that it should be natural because we're human beings. Of course, we should just be able to be friends with other human beings, but it really isn't, because you've got to be able to put yourself out there, be a little bit extroverted, which can be a big struggle for a lot of people. You know, you've got to think about things to say. You're wondering if they're gonna shoot you down. You know, maybe you're nervous about it. You know, it's like, and it would be weird if you just walked up to somebody and were like, "Hi, do you want to be friends?" Even though that's totally what I did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It would be weird, right? As a grown up. So yeah, so it is harder to make friends as an adult.
Yes. Yes, it is. I can attest to that.
But the great thing about the veteran community is that overall, like, we are very welcoming. And when we know that, you know, somebody else is a veteran, it's like, yeah, come on over, let's have a beer, let's talk about wherever you were stationed or whatever your experience was. Which is why I think so many veterans wear like the hats or the t-shirts or they have the stickers on the car, because that shows that you're part of that tribe, that shows that you have belonging there. And then it kind of opens you up, like, okay, yeah. I am a part of this community. I'm advertising myself as part of this community. So like, either I'm gonna come to you and talk about it, or you can come to me and talk about it. And that's why groups, I mean, there's so many groups for veterans, and, you know, I mean, from like the higher level, like the VFW, American Legion type of groups, to like your local motorcycle rides, or, you know, like barbecues. There's a farm near us that does a lot of work with veterans. They have all kinds of events for veterans. So if you are in that, like, I'm feeling lonely, I'm feeling lost stage, look around a little bit and look around a little bit, join the Legion and just go sit at the bar on a Friday night, and like, somebody's going to talk to you, you know. So, and find your people again.
Or Crüe's Facebook, Instagram, and all that, because we've interviewed a bunch, you know, that take veterans fishing, and they take veterans in cars, and there's always something, a group to get to, especially where we are here. You know, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
All right. We got any more questions? Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Look at that, Jake. That new recruit wants to know, what was your path to the corps? Was it family legacy? Did you go through the academy, or a different route? Thank you for that question, new recruit.
Yeah, we'll rewind. We'll go back, take you back about 25 years. More than that, I guess.
You were like Wayne's World?
Yeah. It was kind of a family legacy. My dad was in the Navy, so I knew I didn't want to join the Navy. But I had been around the military my whole life. You know, I had grown up on bases overseas and in the States, and that was the family business, and that was comfortable to me. And I, you know, definitely had like a desire to serve. But going into like high school, I was like, as I was getting to be, you know, like junior in high school, and I'm starting to think, okay, what am I going to do with my life? I did not think that as a woman, I wanted to be in the military. I was like, you know what? There's a lot there to unpack. I think I'll just skip it. My older brother, who was a year ahead of me in school, joined the Marine Corps, and he wanted to be a Marine his entire life, like used to dress up. I mean, we were constantly playing some kind of war or making guns out of something. And so he joined, and he went after he graduated from high school. And so I went to his graduation from recruit training. So this would have been like winter of my senior year of high school. And when I watched those Marines march across that drill field at Parris Island, and they're like perfect, you know, they're in their blues, they're like marching all aligned, I was like, I have got to be a part of this organization. But I had already accepted to college. So like I was already on my way to college later that year. So I was like, all right, well, you know, I don't know how that looks, but maybe one day. And I didn't even know what NROTC was. I didn't
Mhm.
know what any of like the options were. I was just like, well, I'm going to go to college and then we'll see what happens. And I guess maybe around halfway through my freshman year, there was like a career fair or something, and there was a guy in his Navy uniform for ROTC, and I went and I talked to him a little bit, and I'm like, mind completely blown. Like, they pay for me the rest of my school. I will have a job when I get out. I get all these benefits that nobody gets when you're like getting into your first job, out of school. And I can serve, and I felt really good about that. So I was like, well, yeah, I'll give that a try. So I did. So my sophomore year, I started NROTC, and then when I graduated, I got commissioned, and that's how I made it.
Nice.
Now you said your dad was Navy and you knew you didn't want to do that, but why did you become like the Navy's bodyguard? Because that's basically what you did anyway. You didn't want to be in the Navy, but you became their bodyguard.
Yeah, it's that's a cute way of putting it. Well, the way that I saw it was that the Marines was the hardest, and they also had the coolest uniforms. And
I will give them that.
If I was gonna do this, and I was gonna put like that amount of blood, sweat, and tears into getting a job, I wanted it to be like the one that I felt was, I don't know, just the coolest, the badassiest. I don't know.
I don't want any hate mail from anybody in the Navy.
I know.
About
sorry,
that,
everybody.
But that's basically how I felt about it. That's why I figured I'd ask the question. It was there. It came out.
Yeah, I did actually look at the Air Force. So I told my dad, like I went home like that summer after I learned about ROTC, and I told my dad I was thinking about it, and he was like, hold on there, honey. He's like, not a lot of men think their little girls are going to grow up to be Marines. And he was like, he's like, that's really noble that you want to serve. And of course he was very proud at that decision, but he's like, look, quality of life wise, you want to be in the Air Force. But you know what? I was like 19. I wasn't listening to him. So I went and I met with the Air Force guy, and I took whatever tests they had. But ultimately decided that I would continue to try to become a Marine.
I always tell people, if I had to do it over again, I always tell people, check out the Coast Guard.
And that's what I say. Had I known.
I took my niece to the Coast Guard recruiter, and you go to an Army recruiter, Air Force, Navy, Marine, whoever, and they're like, you go in there and they're telling you what they can do. Coast Guard's like, what can you do for us? And it's like a job interview, and they turn people down.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
But
they've got great duty stations. They're all like on the water.
Yes.
Beach towns, great quality of life. They promote fast, and you don't. It's pretty rare that you would deploy like outside of the United States. It can happen, but mostly you're going to be in the U.S. or U.S. waters.
I live on a big river and lake system here, and they've got them stationed in a little bitty town, Paris, Tennessee.
Yeah,
and it's just Paris Landing, and I think they've got like a 5 or 6 person detachment down there, and they just patrol the river. And it's like, wow,
good gig.
No kidding. Well, hey, the hidden secret of service, the Coasties, never unhappy. That is right. That is right. We got some more questions in there, Stephen. Yes.
Yes, at collectivity. I hope I did that right. What are some warning signs that loneliness is affecting someone's mental health? Thank you for that question, collectivity.
Yeah, good question. So loneliness actually affects about 1 in 4 U.S. adults. So there are a lot of people out there who feel lonely, and similar percentages when surveys ask things like, do you have somebody who you could ask a favor of? I give people the trash can test, which is very simple, yes or no question. If you were going out of town, do you have someone you could ask to drag your trash can to the curb for you? And if the answer is no, you might not be very socially well, because it means that you don't have a support system around you that you can ask to help you with things like that. But as far as loneliness, the symptom, that looks, well, people who are lonely are at higher risk for things like anxiety, depression. They don't live as long. There are also, other types of like heart disease type of afflictions that can happen. So I would say that loneliness probably is most closely related to depression in terms of like what the symptoms would look like. I hesitate to call them symptoms because loneliness is not like a mental disorder. It's not like you can be diagnosed with loneliness. You can be diagnosed with depression. But things like spending a lot of time alone, not having people that you could ask favors of, feeling unfulfilled when it comes to having interpersonal relationships. If you're thinking, boy, I want to be around people, I want to hang out with somebody this weekend, but you don't have anybody to do that with, you're probably lonely. And then as it progresses and can turn into things like anxiety and depression, you might see the symptoms that you see with that, like sleeping a lot. It can sometimes lead to substance misuse, worse, especially in the veteran population, homelessness, that kind of thing, because you're not surrounded by people who care about you. I hope that answers the question. I know that wasn't like a real solid answer, but
that answered it for me. Yeah. We're going to shift gears a little bit here. We're going to talk about, okay, you've talked about all this stuff. So what are you doing with it? What is your, we're going to bring up, we're going to have the producer throw in here your website, and we're going to have you talk about what you're doing to help people with this.
Yeah. Primarily what I do, well, a couple of things, I guess. It's like I can't hold down a job. I have so many things going on. I am a performance coach for veterans and first responders, and I do that through a company called Sharp Performance. They're based out of California, and they contract with organizations. It's mostly first responders, mostly like police departments, fire departments, to provide coaching as a benefit to their employees. And then I also speak and educate. So I go to conferences and fundraising dinners and employee resource groups. I give workshops, I give keynote speeches to teach people what social wellness is, because it is a pillar of our overall health, right alongside our physical and our mental health. Teach them what the elements of social wellness are, which is belonging, connection, support, respect, and purpose. And then give them some of the skills that they need to find those things or build those things in their lives. Because research indicates that when you are socially well, you can perform better. You're more resilient to stress, so you're not knocked out of the game when you're dealt a blow, because you have people to back you up. You're also physically healthier. Like I said, people live longer. When they're socially well, they live longer. They're not as susceptible to things like stress, because they have people around them who are supportive to them. And then the flip side of that is that they know how to access that support that exists.
Yes.
I would think that's one of the biggest parts, accessing it.
Yeah.
Now, I want to tell the people that are watching, if you go to Becca's website, and that's www.beccaspar.com, that first video that pops up, Tough Isn't Enough. It's just a little 2-minute something video. Watch that, because that right there kind of explains it all, folks. Yeah, I watched that video and I was like, well, it was like somebody smacked me in the side of the head. It was like, hey, yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I talk about a lot is that, like, this idea of social wellness and, being surrounded by people who love and support you and being able to access that, like, everybody experiences that. We're all human beings. We're all in the same boat there. People who have served in high-risk professions or are serving in high-risk professions experience it differently, because we, unlike the general population, have an immense sense of belonging. We're wearing a uniform, we're, like I said, we all got the stickers on our cars. It's like you have joined this club and it wasn't easy to get in. So there's belonging right there. There's connection because we're around our friends. We have our battle buddies. They see us at our worst, so we're able to, see each other in vulnerable times. Oftentimes, we're spending a lot of time around them. If you work like 12-hour shifts, or you're on deployment, or you're going on like TDY trips together, that kind of thing. So you're around each other a lot. So that connection is especially powerful, more so than it would be if you were just like a civilian with your coworkers.
Yeah.
The support piece of it is that we, being a part of these organizations, are trained to be able to depend on each other and to be depended on, because we're always looking out for our buddy on our left or right, because it can actually be a life or death scenario sometimes. So people are reliable. If you ask them for a favor, they're going to help you out. Okay, every once in a while, there's a knucklehead who you're like, yeah, don't ask that guy for anything.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we're, willing to help each other out and capable of doing that. And then the organizations themselves are supportive, because there's a lot of built-in like structure to our social wellness. You're living in the barracks, or you're living on base. There's oftentimes things like, the Marine Corps is crazy about our birthday, and we all go out and have a few beverages in November together. Right. So there's these like social situations that we're in. So that hits the support side of it. Respect, again, built in. I'm looking at your collar and I see your rank, and I know that you earned that rank. And even if that rank is E1, I'm going to respect you for it because you did something to earn that. And then purpose is just so profound for people who have served, because not a single one of us gets up while we're serving or after we have served and thought, what am I doing with my life? Or what have I contributed to this world? Yeah. We've done it. That box is checked. We have done it. I never have to worry about that. I feel like I have contributed to the world. So, and I'm not saying this to like disparage people who have not served. It is social wellness is experienced in different ways by different people, and we all are on our own journey, and that's totally fine. But because there's like such a concentration, such really deep, profound social wellness for this population who has served, it makes it that much harder when we leave that. Because when you're in this perfect little bubble with your buddies, and it's great, and we're contributing, and we feel like we belong, and we have purpose, and then it's gone. And unless you know how to find it again, or find something that will maybe not replace, but will kind of still fill those buckets, you can really hang out there and feel very lost. And that I mean, there really isn't research on this, but my theory is that those veterans and first responders who have served and then they leave service and they no longer have that warm social wellness hug to wrap around them, and then they can't access it in their civilian communities, that's where we start seeing the problems with the substance misuse, the depression and anxiety, the mental health disorders that just get way out of hand because they don't know who to ask for help, homelessness, and worse. And I feel like if we could get our hands around this problem early, that we would see those numbers go way down.
Yeah. And yeah, because everybody just wants to be loved and accepted.
Precisely. Yep, that's what it all comes down to.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said I got that. My mind was just all over the damn place.
You're buffering, Stephen.
No, I wasn't buffering. It's attention deficit disorder. You put something in my head, and I started thinking of a movie and a line from the movie, and I just totally got lost. But anyway, sorry about that. Ever wonder where Alice is? Wants to know, what advice would you give military spouses and family who are also navigating transition?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that question.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for asking that question, because that is a hugely important piece of this puzzle, and also one that is not talked about enough. And my advice is really the same, because the spouses and families have served in their way. You were at the same duty stations. You were also tolerating the long hours and the uncertainty. Many times the spouses have also enjoyed a really robust social network. I mean, what other industry has like spouses clubs? None. Right? And I especially saw this living overseas. It was like, because we were away from our normal like family structure or like whatever, everything else going on, people got so close living overseas. All the families, everybody hung out together. It was like a big party every weekend. The kids are running all over the place. Somebody gets a scraped knee, some other parents there with a Band-Aid. It was like great. So the families are experiencing what all those things that I just said, that very deep sense of belonging, purpose, respect, all of that. You're also experiencing that very deeply, much more deeply than your civilian counterparts usually. And so when the spouses are transitioning, they also need to find ways to get plugged into their new communities. Whether that is finding, and a lot of this happens naturally, because like, let's say you've got to find, the new school for your kids, and then the kids get into extracurriculars. So like there's some there. Finding, if you're religious, finding a place of worship where there's a community that will welcome you in. Doing volunteer work is fantastic. Doing group volunteer work. So try to stay away from the individual opportunities because you're not meeting anybody. But if you go to like a beach cleanup day or, whatever, cleaning up the community gardens or something, and there's other people around, that's an opportunity for you to chat and make friends with people who live near you. So it's very, very similar. Anything that I would tell a veteran who is transitioning to do, I would also tell the spouse or the family member. And you've got to put yourself out there, even though it's tough.
Yes, you do. You got to put yourself out there. Okay. Hey, this hour has flown by.
It has.
We got a couple more things we got to do though. First of all, if somebody wants to reach you, wants to book you, wants to just pick your brain a little bit, how do they contact you, Becca?
There's a couple ways. You can go to my website and fill out, there's like a contact form that will come to my email, and I'll get back to you, or DM me on any of my socials. So I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. And it's just my name, Becca Spahr, S-P-A-H-R. So you can find me that way. I respond to all my messages. I'm always happy to hear from people. And if this message is important to you, an association you're a member of, an organization you work for or with, and you want me to bring it to you, definitely reach out and we'll figure out a way to make that happen.
Okay. All right. Now, fans of the ToosDay Crüe, we are going to introduce you to something new this evening. This is the first time that we're doing this. So, Becca, are you ready for 15 questions?
Oh gosh, you didn't tell me this was coming. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me stretch
they're
out a little
easy.
bit. Okay.
This is going to be easy. This is going to be the pop culture lightning round.
Oh
Okay.
gosh.
So I'll start it off. Favorite movie of all time.
Forrest Gump.
Okay.
Most underrated TV series.
I was gonna say Peaky Blinders, but I feel like that's not that underrated anymore.
No, great show.
Yeah.
Great show. Marvel or DC?
Pass. I don't know anything about that. I'm sorry. I'll say Marvel because my nephews are into it. We'll go with Marvel.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Favorite concert you've attended?
Concert?
Yeah.
Gonna go Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Sweet. Last show that you binge watched?
Mad Men.
Okay.
Favorite 80s movie?
I'll say Breakfast Club.
Okay, good.
Classic.
Favorite 90s song?
Oh. Anything by Liz Phair or Fiona Apple.
Okay.
Cool. One celebrity you'd love to have dinner with?
Tom Hanks.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
If you could appear on any game show, which one?
Jeopardy, but I don't think I would win.
Favorite podcast?
You guys, of course.
Oh, come on.
Good answer.
Most overhyped movie ever?
Oh, my daughter's going to kill me for this, but I'm going to say Titanic.
Favorite fictional military character?
Oh my gosh, I could think forever on that. I guess maybe Demi Moore in A Few Good Men.
Okay.
I used to do my hair like her early on. She was my inspo.
All right. If your life had a theme song, what would it be?
Dancing in the Moonlight.
Love that song. What's one trend that you wish would disappear forever?
Ask me 15 questions.
Was that 15? Oh gosh. I think just like there's so many. Probably like this trend that we're supposed to look differently than we do. Like this is how I look. Why do I have to wear makeup that makes me look a certain way from a certain angle? And can't we just look the way we do?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been saying that for years. You're aging. You don't need to put 8 pounds of cover up.
Exactly. Like this is what I'm supposed to look like.
Yes.
Well, hey, you
Amen
did
to
great.
that.
You did great on the lightning round. Becca, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. And I want to tell everybody out there in the nation, hey, feeling down, feeling blue, don't feel like it, you want to be here tomorrow, get on that phone, dial 988. If you're a veteran, take option 1, because tomorrow will not be as beautiful a day if you're not in it. If you don't want to call that, call a friend, call somebody you can rely on. If you don't want to do that, contact us here at the Misfit Nation. We will reach back out to you and help you get the help that you need.
That's info at the Misfit Nation, Jake at themisfitnation.com, and Steven at misfitnation.com. And check us out Saturdays at 5 p.m. on Reach Across America.
I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Becca, thank you. Thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you guys
Great.
for doing what you do.
Great chat, and thank you
great
for what
chatting
you're
with you.
doing out there. That's helping people. I think, I truthfully believe that's why we were put here on this rock, is to help other people, and you're out there doing it, and thank you.
Good night, Mr. Nation.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are
Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.